Oklahoma State at Kansas State, two teams coming off conference losses. This opened with Kansas State a 3.5-point favorite and has moved to Kansas State as a 5.5-point favorite. So you mentioned earlier the Baylor BYU spread, where Baylor was installed as the favorite against BYU. Baylor coming off that horrific loss to Colorado, where they gagged it away at the end. And then K-State was installed as a favorite in this game, and then the gamblers bet it up to 5.5. They have a lot more faith in K-State bouncing back than maybe I do, because I think Oklahoma State may be the one that bounces back in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have drawn this up before the year, but if you would have told me that the Oklahoma State-Kansas State game would be matchups between two 0-1 teams in the Big 12, I probably wouldn't have believed that. And now here we are early on in the season with a must-win probably for both if either of these teams wants to get back in the race. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's not a must-win. Maybe in the Big 12 we're going to have just every single team dropping games, and it's just going to be a complete cluster. But at this point in time, these were two of the three teams that I thought had the best chances of winning the conference. And they're both, losing to teams that I didn't think that they were going to lose to. Well, that's not true. Oklahoma State lost to a really good team. That was the third one. But yeah, I don't know. The bounce back must win game here, that the factor that's in Manhattan, I don't know that I would feel comfortable laying 5.5 points though.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Scott asked in the chat, what's wrong with Ollie Gordon? What's wrong with Ollie Gordon is Oklahoma State's not running the ball very well, period. But they are throwing the ball fairly well. I just thought Utah dominated them up front for a lot of that game. Now, Oklahoma State did come back there at the end, but I don't know that I would sit there and expect Oklahoma State to just trounce people on the ground. They're going to have to throw the ball to win, but I think they can probably do that against K-State. I don't think K-State's going to completely shut them down. Now, the BYU game, the score is probably pretty misleading because it was turnovers that led to directly to some BYU points. So it wasn't like BYU was just rolling over Kansas State offensively the whole game. But Oklahoma State is probably just as good at baiting Avery Johnson into a turnover as BYU. My thing, Ari, is I wonder if Kansas State's going to figure out what they are offensively. Look at the Arizona game.
Mm-hmm.
Run the ball. You have the fastest quarterback in America. You have a really good running back. Run the ball. Stop trying to be something you're not. Run it so much and so effectively that they are scared and put 9 people in the box and can't disguise their coverages and then throw over top of them. But run the ball.
Yeah, I think I'm with you with that. We talked ourselves into Avery Johnson potentially being a trendy preseason Heisman pick. I think that we all thought that this was going to look a little bit differently than it's looked so far this year. But to your point, he rushed it 11 times for 74 yards in the loss to BYU, and they averaged 5.5 yards a carry in the game, and they only scored 9 points, and I don't think they scored a touchdown. So, yeah, I don't know how you go from looking as good as you did or as exciting as you did against Arizona to laying a complete egg. But, it is also on the table, Andy, that in 3 weeks we're having a discussion about BYU being a contender to win the conference too. This is one of those conferences where you could have come into the year and made a legitimate case for 10 different teams in this conference to win it. So, this is in a very important game for the conference race standpoint, but at the same time, too, we could be 3 weeks removed away from it being Utah and everybody else, or everybody in the same, kind of hodgepodge of teams together.
Yeah, everything under the umbrella. 3-loss Big 12 champion, 4-seed playoff team possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you could probably make a case that, I don't know if Utah's going to lose 3 times, but you can make a case that it's more than possible that it could be semi-likely. And that's why we have this discussion, and we will. I guarantee you right now, I'm going to tell you, Andy, I guarantee you that we will be having a discussion in November about how the 5 seed has it the best. And there are people out there that think that the extra game, no matter who you're playing, is worse than playing a good team in the second round.
It's not, because
you might round.
Yeah, because the 4 seed is going to be misseeded and they're not going to be the 4th best team in the country. There's a chance they could be the 15th best team in the country. It's not the 5-12 game that makes the 5 seed the best. It's the 4-5 game that makes the 5 seed the best.
But some people think that because there's a chance of injury and wear and tear on the body, that just having to play the extra 4 quarters against the group of 5 team is rough. So I don't know if I agree with that, but I think I would rather play 12-5 than.
I also think it matters if you had to play in a conference championship game or not, and we don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so the Big 12 is competitive, it's exciting, it's interesting, and it's crazy. And it's already crazy.
And we got a couple more Big 12 games to pick here that have even bigger spreads. I'm going to take Oklahoma State here.
Yeah, me too. No question.
All right.